Jrue Holiday is the best defender on the Boston Celtics and arguably the best defender in the NBA. But how come he's guarding Jaden McDaniels, who's the fourth scoring option on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he's not guarding Anthony Edwards, who's the first scoring option on the Minnesota Timberwolves? Here's why. By Jrue Holiday guarding the worst player, this allows him to guard multiple players. So when DiVincenzo gets off the screen going to the right side, he now picks up Horford, and you have Holiday on that weak side corner who's going to play help to prevent a layup from occurring. So what Jrue Holiday does when he rotates over is that he keeps his arms out wide and his base gets wide as well. And what that does, it tells DiVincenzo that Holiday's playing the passing lanes. So what happens is that DiVincenzo delays the pass he gets to throw to McDaniels and also buys Holiday more time to get to that closeout. And on that closeout, pay attention to Jrue Holiday. He reads McDaniels' body and is able to beat him to the spot instead of just running him off the line, since McDaniels is not the best shooter. So now Holiday kills that first attack. McDaniels gets the ball back to DiVincenzo. And now after DiVincenzo ends up pitching the ball to Rudy Gobert, Rudy gives the ball back to McDaniels. Holiday once again has to read another closeout. These details, reading closeouts, playing help, having active hands, is what separates a defender like Jrue Holiday from all other defenders. And he's able to stay focused while doing it the entire game. And that's what really makes him elite. So now once again, he recognizes McDaniels catches and rips and attacks. He beats him to the spot. And what ends up happening, Jaylen Brown comes from behind and he ends up getting the block. So Jrue Holiday did all of that work and did not get rewarded one bit in the box score for any of it. So understand, Jrue Holiday is known as the best defender in year 16 of his career and not in years 1, 2, 3, or 4 because it took time for him to get exalted. But he continuously did righteously on the floor. And now we're going to see how he continues to further that in multiple aspects on defense. Now you're probably going to ask, is this a righteous play? Where you leave the player that you're guarding wide open from three and they knock it down. Yes, it is a righteous play. Why? Let's watch a couple more plays to provide context. So on this next possession, Jrue Holiday picks up on Ant in transition despite him not being his primary matchup. And Jrue Holiday is more than capable of staying in front of Ant in an ISO. So what does Jrue Holiday do? Fight over the first screen by getting into his body, and now Ant has to call for a rescreen, so now we can get an angle to get to the rim, right? And now Ant is able to get to the rim, kicks it out to McDaniels, and McDaniels knocks it down, but I want you to watch Jaylen Brown, so let's go back for a second. The entire time that screen was going on, Jaylen Brown got his eyes stuck on the ball, and he was not tracking the ball screen and the player attacking the paint like Jrue Holiday was, like we seen on that first possession. That's what makes Jrue Holiday an elite defender. His brain doesn't turn off when he's playing help, and he's able to guard multiple players without leaving gaps within the defense. So now what ends up happening when Jrue Holiday is on the ball and you have somebody else off the ball, you end up giving up open three in rhythm without even giving a hand or anything to be able to stop that. And so this next possession down, you got Jrue Holiday back on Jaden McDaniels. And McDaniels has hit 2 in a row. So DiVincenzo comes off the screen. You have Holiday playing defense all the way at the nail. And he kicks the ball to McDaniels and he has a ton of room to shoot. McDaniels shoots it and he misses it. And this is why it is a righteous play. The first one and this third play that we just seen. Because it's in the game plan to let McDaniels shoot. And if you stick true to that, instead of allowing players to get into the lane, playing a player honestly that you know is not going to burn you as you think, that is righteous play. That is a smart play. And that's what makes Jrue Holiday elite. And also another reason why he guards one of the worst players on the floor. 2025 is the year that we take action. It's the time for us to start getting in the gym consistently, to start studying upon our crafts, to actually start taking action and getting closer to God. And there's no better way to do it than with Raycon Everyday Earbuds. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds are the perfect gym buddy, whether you're about to go and lift or you're on the court about to get shots up or doing ball handling. These earbuds also come with active noise cancellation. So when you're waiting around in the store and you're in public, it's going to cancel all that noise out. And don't worry about your battery dying because 10 minutes of charging gives you 90 minutes of battery life. And if you're like me and you sweat a lot when you work out, don't worry about it because they're also sweat resistant.
And y'all know me, I love hooping. So my favorite time to use these earbuds is when I'm doing my ball handling workouts before I start getting shots up. So go to buyraycon.com/DOR to get 15% off. That's right, 15% off site-wide when you go to buyraycon.com/DOR. Anytime Jrue Holiday does end up on the best player, they're most likely going to get a switch off of him because he is great guarding on the ball. So Anthony Edwards gets a switch with Al Horford, and Holiday is now guarding Gobert. But pay attention to what Holiday does off the ball. So although Rudy Gobert goes to that left side of the floor, Jrue Holiday is going to stay on that right block. And since Ant is in that isolation, he could easily drive past Horford, but if he does decide to do that, he's going to run right into Jrue Holiday, who's standing on the block. So what is Ant going to try to do, knowing I can't just drive hard to the right side? I'm going to try to shift my defender right and left and create a gap to where I don't have to go directly to that right side. But Horford does a great job of staying in front, and Anthony Edwards has to settle for a step back, going to that left, and airballs it, just because the work that Jrue Holiday did in his positioning, and also everybody else has helped defenders to stop a drive. But if the person that switches on to Anthony Edwards when he attacks doesn't do a good job of staying in front of those shifts, this is what happens. So you have Ant, who gets Tillman, and you have Jrue Holiday, who's playing help on that right side of the floor. And all the things that Jrue Holiday is going to do will not work, because since Ant is able to shift Tillman to the right side, to the left side, he creates gaps to avoid the help defense so that he could get to the rim, and now he's just able to get 2 points. So it's a collective team effort. It takes more than just one to be able to stop a player. It takes a whole team. And that's the importance of it and why everybody must play their role. Now we got Jrue Holiday guarding Rudy Gobert. And you have Jaylen Brown on Anthony Edwards. And look at the shot clock and look at the time on the clock. There's 35 seconds left with 24 on the shot clock. So that means the Timberwolves are going to try to go for a 2-for-1. So when Ant picks up the ball, he's able to get Jaylen Brown to open up his base, and Rudy Gobert slips out. So Jrue Holiday now has a decision to make. Do I stop Ant's drive, or do I stay attached to my man and stop him from scoring? And so he decides to take away Ant's drive and leave Gobert open, and Gobert gets an easy 2. But why did he just leave Gobert wide open to get 2 points? Because if he let Ant drive and go and get his 2, that 2 could turn into 4 to 5 more shots to go down, because Anthony Edwards could get high. Gobert, on the other hand, he may just get a 2 around the rim, get a dunk, and that's going to surmount to nothing else more than that, because Rudy Gobert doesn't get hot, nor is he as offensively skilled. So before you let somebody score, think about who you're going to let score. By guarding the worst defender, Jrue Holiday is able to guard multiple defenders, and which is why he doesn't guard the best defenders. And so guarding Jaden McDaniels in that right corner, you have Ant with the ball at the top, and when he drives right, Jrue Holiday plays help up the line, and he's at that elbow, but pay attention to his body angles. He is low, his feet are wide, and his arms are out wide as well. What this does is it discourages passing lanes to McDaniels while he's able to take away Ant's driving lane to the rim. So he takes away 2 in 1 by playing proper positioning and being prepared. So now what does Ant do? He gives the ball up to Julius Randle. He hands off to DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo kicks the ball out to Julius Randle, who seems wide open. But what does Holiday do, knowing that Horford helped in on DiVincenzo's attack? He's going to help all the way across the floor and discourage a shot from Randle, who gives the ball up back to DiVincenzo, where in reality, he really had an open shot. So now DiVincenzo's got it, and he's run off the line, and Holiday once again is playing help on the complete opposite side of the floor, because he knows they don't even want to give the ball to McDaniels. And if he does get it, we're going to live with them shooting like we've seen before. So now, ball goes to Randle, and he gets a contested 3 instead of shooting that first 3, which should have been wide open because Jrue Holiday helped in, and now they end up getting that stop. Elite off-ball defender and just as elite on-ball defender, which is why Jrue Holiday guards the worst defenders.